All right, wrestling fans, welcome to the G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We're live here from the Dub. We got special guests with us today. We got King Gun as always. We got the chairman, Joe Owens, with us. How you doing today, Joe?
Thank you for having me, partner. Great. Honestly, I still think it's the best podcast I've ever been on.
So, it's a little while to get put together. We're going to go together.
Yeah, I did. It took a little while, but I appreciate everything that you can try to do for me for the wrestling. I appreciate everybody. I really appreciate everything that you have. Yeah, we are doing it. Yeah, that is my first time. I think we are doing it. Yeah.
Oh, before that part, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. How long have you been in the wrestling business? I know famous business.
Man, I've been around wrestling for 20 years over in the just started figuring out what's familiar with two visual, 50 people, and being part of it at the camp. And that's often plays with me, the little guy stuck in the middle of the piece of stuff, just travel around and just doing
What's your favorite memory?
favorite. Had a lot of those.
Well, I just let's just as a kid, maybe with your dad.
Oh, the favorite memory with my dad was probably the first time, I was 16 years old and I was at work and he came by, he said, "Hey, I got you some gear on the night." That was my very first match. And I thought that was like, that's something I would always remember.
Yeah, I'll bet. So, how many years ago would that be? 16, so
25 years
25
ago.
years ago?
Yeah. Been a long time. And that, honestly, it was right down the street here from the Dub, right here by Tibbs Drive-In. There's a little hotel right back there, and it was a biker bar at the time.
Really?
That was my very first show. I remember I was being real nervous and all that, and we're at a biker bar outside, and my ring music was Motley Crue, girls, 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 and when they started up the motorcycle on the songs, they all started, to fire their bikes up, and I was like, oh, this is for real.
Yeah,
it's about to go down.
Thanks, Reggie, for letting us know about the sound issue. I think we have it fixed now.
Hey, Reggie, worry about our sound issues, not somebody else's.
So I know you're. When did your dad start WCWO?
Oh, geez.
Well, how long has it been here in Indy at this building?
We've been here over 12 years.
Over 12 years.
Yeah.
When you started running the business, is this where it was at this building?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my dad passed away a couple years ago, almost 2 years now in June. That was a rough time for all of us, and we wasn't too sure where WCWO was going to go at that time. But I just knew one thing, I wasn't going to let his legacy die, because this was his dream. This was his passion. Plus, my mom, this is what she's done, for many, many years, is they did shows, every weekend. So I felt it was my obligation to keep his memory alive.
How hard was it to go through COVID and all that to keep everything going?
It was real tough, because there was times that we closed down, and it was hard, to keep the bills paid, to keep the place going. Then they opened it up where we could do, the 50 cap. And luckily, during that time, we was drawing 50 customers every week, and everybody helped out to keep the place going. Big Pete, Phil, Mike Lee, and all of them, they all chipped in and helped keep this place going for everybody.
That's great. That's awesome. You guys are like a family. So, I mean, a lot of the people you have, I see the respect that, the wrestlers and your helpers have. You seem like a big family. For the most part, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the way my dad would want it. He wouldn't turn nobody down. He would always try to help everybody. And that's the way I wanted to keep it, So, we are one big family here. If anybody needs anything, they know they could call and reach out to me, and I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's the same with a lot of the other guys. There's a lot of guys here that everybody could call and they could depend on, and they would come and help them out.
Who's probably the biggest, in your opinion, or maybe your dad's opinion, his biggest opponent that he ever wrestled?
Oh, geez. It'll make me think. I just got off work, right? I know that he was privileged to be part of Moose Cholox's last match. I know he was happy about that, being part of that. So I would say that one.
I got to see one of his later matches there in Muncie, him and Bruiser, and it was funny because Moose got on the top rope. I don't know what he was doing. He got up there and it was against Kent, Bulldog Kent. I think it was him. I can't remember the other. I think Graham, Dr. Jerry Graham. They was wrestling, and they all got to laughing because Moose got up on the top rope and he couldn't get down.
Yeah.
and Bruiser said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I don't know what I'm doing." And it was hilarious. All four of them was laughing.
It was like, my dad was telling me a story, back when he was wrestling Moose for his last match. He goes, next thing you know, he goes, big man knees just gave out and he squashed me. He goes, I couldn't breathe. There was no kicking out, period.
Did your dad ever get to wrestle with Bruiser?
No, but he did some stuff, ring crew and stuff that, back in the early days, helping out and all that stuff.
Marcus Fine said Bobo was a good opponent.
Who Bobo? That's true. They've had some feuds over the years, that's for sure.
Coming out of the COVID, how hard was it to get like the young group that you have now to get everything going back up here at the Dub?
Honestly, it was, it was pretty hard to keep it going at first, because, we had some drama that went down that we'll discuss that on another talk show, because that's something we talked about. Yeah. And I want to do that on a separate thing.
Okay.
Tonight I'm just going to keep it,
yeah.
But I treat these new kids that come in here no different than I would anybody else. I'm open arms. I try to help them out, do the best we can, and, as long as these kids are coming here learning And that's what means the world to me. They're here always trying. I mean, you guys came to some of our practices. You see how everything goes down.
Yep.
You know, these kids work really, really hard. And I mean, you know, I literally think some of these guys will be a star because I mean, so much effort these guys put in time after time. They're up here every practice. They don't miss. You guys, you've seen it.
Yep.
And you see these guys are getting better and better and better each week. And, you know, I think it's a shame that, you know, a lot of them are not getting booked out like they should because there's so much talent people's missing out on here.
I agree 100%. Me and Chris have talked about it. You guys got some really good talent, and there's 2 or 3 of them we've talked about, you know, that should be booked more because they've gotten so. Well, we started coming here 8 months ago. We see the improvement. Well, we've seen, I think maybe Rachel's 3rd or 4th match at DCCW. She was pretty new, and see where she's at now. It's unbelievable. And you've got a bunch of people that way.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of guys that, you know, we even got some new guys getting ready to start wrestling here pretty soon that are coming out of the training school.
So you have a full training class right now, right?
Yeah. And we actually got a nice little group starting this Sunday. So yeah, it's, you know, we just keep on growing. And, you know, like I like to say thanks to a lot of you guys that help out. You know, Jake Owens been a really big help, you know, around here helping the guys out because I mean, there's some things that it's hard for me to do anymore because I've gotten older, and Jake is so phenomenal at some of that stuff. And so, you know, he handles my advanced class and I take the beginner's class. So if they, you know, we have the 2 rings going, we have the ring in the back and the ring in the front. The front rings for experienced guys, and the back is for the newer guys. And, you know, they don't get a chance to come up front till me and Jake talk about it and we give the okay. Rather than that, they stay back here, you know, learning.
What's at least in your mind, what's the hardest thing to teach the younger generation now?
The biggest thing is keep their head tucked. They like to hit their heads a lot. And after a couple of times, I'm like, I get it. I understand why you wouldn't keep the head tucked. Because they ding that bell a few times.
It probably don't take too many times before you figure that out.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I know Mike King, he took a pretty good shot to whip his head back last week.
Oh, yeah. From Jackson Morgan, giving that choke slam off the top. Yeah. That was really impressive. I think Mike definitely underestimated Jackson Morgan that night. That's for sure. Because I know Mike's a better opponent than that, but Jackson, man, he's pretty pissed off, to be honest with you. He used to be the nice, you know, humble, you know, quiet guy. Now he's just like, even in the locker room, he's like, holy smoke, what's this dude doing? It freaks me out a little bit. So we just kind of keep our distance away from him right now.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that we talk about that we think should be booked more places. Oh, yeah. The growth in his character from when we first saw him about 8 months ago to now is just it's been great to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's one. Speaking of that guy, you know, he is one of the guys that's here for me. He's been here for me, helped me out from day one. And, you know, and I'm just so glad to see him come together in his character. You know, his wrestling ability is unbelievable now from what he used to be. I mean, I think he could be a heavyweight champion anywhere he goes.
Yeah, I agree.
I like you guys, because I can tell you guys try to help the guys with character development. And because I know I listen to Busted Open Radio, and Bully Ray talks about a lot of the schools that are not very good, that they don't really touch on characters. They just the person running the schools just basically want their money,
right?
And they teach them a little bit and put them in the ring in a month or something, you know, and don't care and never worry about character. And like Bully Ray says, moves are great, but the character is what's going to make you.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so
you know, even during sometimes in our training classes, there will be days where we would just go up there, play some interest music, have you come out, you know, try to entertain us, cut a promo in the middle of the ring. You know, that just helps you develop so much more. You know, we're doing all of our film work now, trying to give the viewers, you know, more of WCWO, and guys are, you know, getting better at their promos. Everything's just getting better, and it takes a place like the WCWO to get better, you know, to get to that big, you know, bigger stage.
I know most independent promotions, especially around here in Indiana, they're lucky if they run one show every month. I know here at the W, you guys run every Friday night. How hard does that make it when you're trying to run every week?
Wow, that's tough. Right, I agree with you. but because we try to make everybody happy. We try to do the best we can. If it wasn't for my creative team, Big Pete, Reggie, and Brian, a lot of people don't realize there's times that we're on the phone with each other for hours, just trying to figure out, make sure we're telling a storyline. We're trying to make sure that everybody's trying to get something. And sometimes it's hard, especially lately we've had a few injuries here at WCWO, and that really hurt a lot of things that we had planned for the future. And sometimes you just got to juggle it. But I got a good crew behind me, and they really do bust their butts, and they work hard here, and I appreciate everything that they do. That's for sure.
What's the hardest thing in your mind, at least for you, doing a weekly show? What's the most difficult?
Trying to keep everybody happy. I mean, sometimes some guys that they think they could run it and do his stuff, but it's way different, like you said, than a monthly show. We run it every week. Sometimes storylines can be dragged out longer than they need to be. Sometimes you just might be stuck in a match just because we're stuck. Yeah. Like, we don't know what to do.
I'll tell you what, I've been impressed. I know Dad has too. From the 8 months that we started watching, and if we can't come here, we usually watch it online. And I mean, you guys always have a good storylines going. So it's been real impressive, because you don't see no companies do that. Even we go to these other independent shows are monthly, and they don't even try to carry stories for a month.
Right. Well, I think that a lot of that is because sometimes people are small-minded. They forget things pretty easy anymore. And I think, if they just, run the show, just as long as it's a great show, they're happy with it. Where we're every week and everybody's got their eyes on us and watching us. So we got to make sure we try to get to that mark. And, and it's a struggle. I mean, it really is, because all of my guys here, besides one, works full time, one's retired. We all got full-time jobs. We take care of our families. We're up here at the Dub 3-4 days a week. And plus, we still do our travel shows, and, I do the ring rentals and everything, all about that. And it's a lot of work,
I was gonna say your wrestling stuff don't end on Friday night at around 10:30 when this show ends, because you usually have a ring somewhere or show you're wrestling on Saturday. So I don't know how you have the time to do all the stuff you get done.
Right? Like a lot of people's like, oh, it's Friday, it's weekend. I got the weekend off. No, mine just begun.
You're pretty much 7 days a week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get off work, on Fridays. I, go home, take a shower, usually come here, and there's always stuff to do. You guys see me out here work on the trailer, trying to get stuff ready for this weekend. Mm-hmm. And there's always something to do. If it's not filming work, we got Phil. He comes up in here, he cleans, and everybody's it's a lot going on here all the time.
And I know you've been wrestling for a long time. What's probably the biggest match that you've been a part of? In your mind?
Honestly, I've had a few good ones, but the one that I really enjoyed, because I respected the individual, was, rest in peace, Tracy Smothers. For Corey Storm's show that he had. I got to wrestle Tracy that night, and I've wrestled him a bunch of times before in the past when I was younger, but that night, I don't know, it just felt like it was just so much fun. It was just like, I couldn't put it in words. It was a great match. And I've wrestled a lot of people over the years, but I don't know, just that one right there really, hit me pretty good that night, and it just seemed like everything went off great, and he was happy, I was happy, and we just kicked it the rest of the night. That was pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I've heard a lot of good things about Tracy.
Great guy,
great guy, and wanted to help out the younger wrestlers and stuff.
For sure, one of the best in the business. That's for sure.
Yeah, Mike had a trivia question about which was a bunch of people that wrestle a bear, but he wanted to know who wrestled a bear. But and of course Smothers was one of them. But there's all kinds of people.
And honestly, my dad did.
Oh, did
my
he?
Dad actually wrestled a bear. I think and he beat him when I was younger. Then the story I was told that he went to try to get back into the cage with the bear like a few weeks later, and it wasn't happening. My mom could definitely tell you a story. We still got some pictures from Polaroid pictures of it from back in the day. He used to have a shirt that says, "I wrestled a bear and won," and he wore it forever.
Well, one of my old amateur wrestling coaches. I've seen pictures of him wrestling a bear. I remember because he was telling us that when I was in high school. I was like, man, you didn't wrestle no bear. Next day he showed up with pictures. He's like, I was like, well, okay, I guess you're right. We're telling the truth. But with the back to the dub a little bit, you got a great group of talent in here right now. I know they're starting to get booked. They get booked everywhere. Any show you go to, you see WCWO talent on. I mean, we enjoy it a lot because we know everybody here, so it's fun for us. But yeah, you see WCWO guys everywhere, and I mean, to me, you guys are the best thing in Indiana that's going right now. So.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate you thinking that. My opinion about wrestling is as long as you guys go out there and put on a great show and entertain the fans, that's what you call good wrestling. And, I don't care who you are. It's just, if you put on a good product, make sure you put on a great product.
We came to one of your monthly shows. I think it was was it the last one, Chris?
Yep.
It was the last end of the month show you guys did, and it was phenomenal. We really enjoyed it, and we got on the air and reviewed it and talked about how good it was. And we got kicked off the air because somebody said that we was falsely advertising how good something could be.
Yeah, I heard about that.
How can you?
Man, there is no room in this business for hate. There's already enough hate out there. Everybody just needs to, kick back and relax and, remember where they come from. Remember why we're wrestlers.
Well, that's what makes wrestling great to me is because it has something for everybody. Everybody's not going to see it the same. I might sit here and watch a match and think it's a great match, and you might sit here and you'll take it a whole different way and think it was just a mediocre match. That's what's great about wrestling because you see it so many different ways, and there's something in it for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think about it, it's always been that way. I mean, they got the gender thing going on now and the race thing and all that stuff. Wrestling has done that before it was even a big thing, Yeah. To think about it, Gorgeous George, all them great guys back then, even on and on. I mean, if they're saying something about it now, it's already been done in wrestling before. I guarantee it.
Well, one that I remember Gorgeous George a little bit, but not Exotic Adrian Street.
Yeah, right. My point exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, wrestling supposed to be entertaining the fans. You got your good guys, your bad guys, and
you have a problem with some people calling it sports entertainment, or I mean, are you more old school or?
I'm kind of mixed on that one because I kind of grew up with both generations. I see where both parts coming from because I had to adjust during my career from the different styles of wrestling because back in the day it was just more of the ground pound and not these big spots like they do now. And I still try to do those, but
I think the spots are great, but spots without a story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I totally agree with that. The best match is about telling the story.
Yeah.
And knowing where your placement is on a card. That's another thing a lot of guys forget is, when I know you always want to go out there and give your best. I totally understand that. But know your placement on a card. Save it for that main event guy. Yeah, I understand that you might want to be that main event guy, but work it. Everybody gets their chance. Just take your time. It'll get there. Just go out there and perform. Put the best show on you can.
Yeah, because I know I've listened to Billy Ray, and he talked about some matches, and he said it's not the right word because people are going to take offense to it. But some matches are, in a way, filler. I mean, not that they don't matter, but you.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about when you asked me about booking and putting cards together and stuff. When I said sometimes you get stuck with this guy, it's just because you're a filler.
Yeah.
It's the way it happens. Especially when you run every week.
Yeah, and everybody can't be in the main event.
No.
It's only going to be one or two people or four people. Or
my favorite spot on the show is open. I love to open a show. If I open a show, that's my main event. Let me go out there and be me, play my character.
And the opening match it's just probably more important than any match of the show because that's what gets the crowd.
Yeah,
gets the crowd kicked off and ready for the rest of the show.
Like I said, it's about knowing your placement. That's your stepping stone. The fresh match goes out there and does a great job. You stair step that up, to tell your main event.
Anybody have any questions on there yet?
Nope.
Nobody has no questions for me. That's a good thing, I guess.
Where's Marcus at? I figured Marcus would have some questions.
He just listened to us talk.
Just listen to talk.
Listen to the stories.
That's probably bad timing for everybody. Probably just not getting off work, heading home, driving. Everybody be watching it later though.
I know you guys got a big show coming up tonight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a great show coming up tonight. We got some matches going down. Matter of fact, I could probably give you a couple of them if you give me a second here.
Doors open at what, 6:30?
6:30, bell time 7:30. Yeah. I believe it's the one in the green, right? All right. Well, we got Savage and Love versus Rachel and Hidari. That should be a really
a real good match.
Real good match. And honestly, I don't think I've ever really seen them together before in a match. All four of them. I think this is the first time all four of them actually getting ready to be in, even a single competition. So that should be really interesting. Then you got Ruthless Domination. They've been really making fun of TJ Powers and Baron and all that. Yeah. But they was around when my dad was around and all that stuff, but they keep on forgetting, TJ Baron's been around for a long time. And they've done every dirty trick in the business. They're smart.
Because I know on that one of these posters, I don't know what year that was, but TJ Powers is in that poster against Bobo Brazil Jr.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how old that poster is. It's gotta be pretty old.
Yeah, I'm wanting to say that's probably from 99, 98, 99. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of that stuff up there, memories up around the wall. Oh, I'll get back here. Sorry about that. We got, the heavyweight title match is Jackson Morgan versus Jawan tonight. I'm kind of curious how that's going to go down, especially since we don't know where Zay and Eric is. Legitimately, I haven't heard nothing from him. Pete just calls me the next morning. He goes, I'm done. He goes, I already wasted a lot of gas in this big truck. He goes, they're on their own. So
that's going to be a hard hitting match with Morgan and Jawan Thomas.
Oh yeah, that's going to be, yeah, that's for sure. And then you got the celebration of our new tag team champions.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I want to see what that is.
Telling what they're going to do or say.
That's why I'm looking forward to it. I want to see.
I have to make sure I tell them this is a PG show.
It could be really good or it could be really bad, and even if it's really bad, it's going to be really good.
Right.
So.
But rather than that, we got a pretty good show going on for tonight.
Marcus Fine said that he misses the Ramada Joey versus Bastard chain match.
The old Ramadian over there. Yes, that was great times. You know what? Every time I wrestle my dad in that chain, every time he whipped me with that thing, oh my gosh. And I would just look up, he would just giggle.
Speaking of, is there a match that you just really don't like doing? Like a chain match or any type of
not really.
No.
I've always been pretty open about doing anything. I've done some death matches and I've done some things I probably shouldn't have done, but I don't regret none of it.
Yeah.
And me knowing me, I'll probably do it again because I love the business.
What's probably the hardest bump you've ever done?
Oh man, honestly, I hate choke slams. I don't know why.
You're gonna stay away from Jackson. Huh?
Yeah, I hate those bumps.
Well, I would think it would be kind of hard to prepare yourself because you don't know exactly how you're going to land. I mean, if everything goes right, you're gonna. But I mean,
yeah, it's just I think it's more because it's straight up and down. Yeah, and if you're going to do it, you're going to try to do the best of your ability. You know what I mean? Make it the best you can. Yeah. So, and the people think these rings are soft, and they're not all that soft.
No, not soft.
No.
There's a lot of abuse on our bodies.
And I know all rings are different. We did a show a few weeks ago in Jeffersonville, and that ring was that was stiff. That was a stiff ring.
That was a stiff ring.
Yeah. Well, luckily here at the Dub, our show ring is really good. We have no complaints about it. Every now and then we do got to tear it apart and just take a look at it, just keep the maintenance up on it because it does get used quite a bit. There's probably somebody in it almost every day.
Yeah, between the shows and training
and then other people coming up here some off times and trying to get some work in.
you said you guys have been here 12 years. I know I'm putting you on the spot, so maybe there's more than one. Do you have a favorite match that's happened in this building, or a couple? I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, you're fine. Honestly, one of my favorite matches was probably here with PT Hustler when we did the scaffolding match. That was a pretty fun match there. I enjoyed that. That was just something different that we never done here before when we first did the scaffolding here, and everybody threw ribbons at us, and we went out and put on a great show.
That would be cool. Scaffold match.
Yeah, we had it kind of coming off the corner there, up in the air. We couldn't go super high,
no.
but we went as high as we could.
As you can go, yeah.
High enough.
Yeah, especially when you're looking to the floor. That's still pretty high.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When you're putting the match cards together, how hard is it to decide who to open the show with and where to put each match at?
Sometimes that's pretty tough also, but you also got to look, after you put the matches down, what you want, and you kind of look at it and you figure, okay, what one's going to really pop the show off good, and usually that's why we try to do that one. And we figured out, our storyline matches really need, it'd be, the match before the intermission and our main events, and rather than that, that's when we try to fill in what's going on. Holy smoke, look, you just walked in the building.
Oh, he's up moving.
Yeah, you're up moving. Can't jump the guardrail though. Big Brody made it to the dub.
Good to see Brody up moving.
Yeah, good to see him moving. That's for sure.
I'm ready to see him back in the ring.
Yeah. He's probably ready to get back in the ring. He's all ready for it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine being injured like that, not being able to get in there after. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, injuries do really, they're horrible. There's been times I've been hurt where I should have been wrestling, but I was still in the ring the next weekend because this is what we do. Especially when you're down and out, that's all you think about. It's like, I need to get back in the ring. I need to get back in the ring because this is part of us. This is why we do it.
What's the worst injury you probably have sustained?
Man, it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe a little longer. Actually, I think it was 5 years. 5 years ago, come out of fact, it just popped up on my news feed. Me and Apollo and Mike King, we went down to Tennessee. Was working for NWA. It was the time to go home, and I was taking the bump and feed to go home, and I took a back bump, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't feel nothing from the waist down, and my wrestling, I'm trying to get up. My mind's like, get up, get up for the next one, get up, and I couldn't, and I ended up crawling over to the ropes and grabbed the hold of the ropes, and the ref came to me. I said, I'm hurt, I can't move, and I guess I had a bad stinger because I had no feeling in my from my waist down for probably about 6.5 hours. They was trying to take me to the hospital. All I kept on saying was, just take me home. And Mike King and Apollo picked me up and carried me to the car, and they took me home and got me to the house, and my wife got me in the tub, and and honestly, I broke down because right there I knew I thought my career was totally over. And she kept on saying, let's, she was upset. She was like trying to get me to go to the hospital and stuff. And I'm like, no. And about a few hours later, I started getting some tingling sensation, and finally my feeling started to come back. I mean, it hurt when the feeling came back because of the tingling. You probably laid on your arms and stuff. So it's what it felt like really bad. And, my legs were weak for a couple of days after that, but, luckily I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd have to be scary.
Oh yeah, it was scary. I literally thought it was over. I was panicking.
And you don't want to go to the doctor or the hospital because you think it's going to be nothing but bad news.
Yeah, I don't like to go. So.
Yeah,
that's
I try to avoid it.
I hate going.
Yeah, Chris.
Wait the next day.
Yeah,
Chris, see what happens.
Chris waits till he's almost dead, and then he'll go. That's happened twice in the last couple months.
I hate going to the doctor, so I avoid it as much as I can. Marcus Fine said, just like your dad, wrestle hurt.
Yeah.
And Mike Lee, it's the old age getting to him.
But it's just what we do. It doesn't matter. I've had my best matches when I was sick and I was hurt, and
Well, once you get in the ring, you're not you're the adrenaline and everything else going. You probably really don't think about it as much until after the match, and then then you're like, oh man, it's good.
Right. When your music hits, it's ball game. It's showtime. You go out there and perform the best you can. So try not to get piss anybody off, I guess, right? I don't want to piss nobody off.
So, when you're working with the like Dad had mentioned earlier, working with the younger guys in there, maybe first time in the ring, I know that puts a lot of responsibility on you. Do you like working with the newer talent like that?
Yeah. I'm around this business to help the young generation learn. Period. It ain't about me. It's not about everybody else. It's about me helping the next generation wrestling get better. And I like wrestling with the younger newer kids. And I think they enjoy, especially when I actually get to really wrestle with them during practice. They're like, holy shit.
What percentage of your new students stay with it?
Stay with it?
Yeah, like they come in and go to school, but how many of them, stay? Don't quit in the first month or 2 months or.
That's the thing. We get a lot of people want to come in here and train. Everybody thinks it's all peaches and cream until they get in here.
They see the show on Friday night. They don't see what it takes to get to that show.
Right. Yeah. And when they come in and do the tryout, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely doing this. This is what I want to do." Then you don't hear nothing from them after the tryout because our tryout's brutal. If you can't make it through our tryout, it might not be what for you. But if you're willing to keep coming back for more, we're willing to teach you. We'll help you out. Like a lot of the new kids, some of them get discouraged because some guys pick up things better than other guys. I'm like, hey, that happens. There's going to be things that you're going to get that guy not going to get.
And people learn at different speeds too.
Yeah. So, we try to adjust, our training with everybody. So, if you're willing to come here and learn, we're willing to teach you.
Everybody's not going to be the same. I mean, somebody may be really good at some stuff, and that person that maybe can't do their stuff may be a lot better at other stuff. So
right. That's even with some of the trainers. Some of the trainers out here today, if there's moves that they can't do, they don't teach it.
So bring somebody in that can help you teach it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here, you got so many different people do come in and help out. Doing guest training and stuff. So. It's a great opportunity here. You'll be able to learn a lot of different things.
Well, we came to do a show that time, and you guys were training, and I was so impressed. We seen the one out here with Owens was running, and it reminded me a lot of wrestling practice because me and Chris coach wrestling some of the things, and the way it was ran as a kind of as a unit. And matter of fact, I went back and told a couple of the students you have now that how good you guys' practice was, and of course now they came here and working with you guys.
Yeah, so. And they've been showing up and so they're getting way better.
Oh yeah. I knew they would, and had a lot of faith in that after seeing what you guys did here and knowing where they were at that particular time in their career. I knew they needed to get better.
Right. You've seen the training. We run the drills and run it like a camp.
Yep.
And and everybody works together because you have to work together. You have to be a team.
Yep.
And that teaches you to be a team. Even when we're doing our exercise, everybody counts together. Everybody, anything, they do it together.
Yeah. Eddie Parks said Scarecrow versus Joey Owens was one of my favorite matches.
Yeah, that was one of my great matches too. I liked that match. I actually remember that match. We did that at DCCW, and me and Eddie tore the house down that night, and it was a great match, and couldn't ask for nothing better that night. That's for sure. And I want to say thank you, Eddie, for everything.
Marcus Fine said, "Who is your longest reigning trainee? Who's a wrestler you trained that's still wrestling? Still wrestling that you train."
Oh gosh. And I can't even remember. I really can't remember because I helped Dad train for so many guys even back in the day when I was younger and stuff. It was it's hard to it's hard to remember. Yeah, sorry, Marcus.
Marcus trying to make you think again.
Yeah, right. He probably knows more about myself than I do. But Marcus has been such a huge wrestling fan for years, and we appreciate him and his wife and what they do, how they support the independent wrestling. So I want to say thank you, Marcus.
Oh yeah, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
So no matter what show we go to, we usually run into Marcus
for years.
Yeah. Was there a favorite place that your father liked to wrestle, other than maybe the Dub? I mean, like another place around Indiana or somewhere else, or that he one of his favorite places to.
Oh, my dad?
Yeah.
He loved to wrestle out in Greensburg, Indiana. Greensburg was a great town.
Really?
I had some of my first few matches out there. We will be trying to get back that way soon. We've been in contact with the recreation center out there. They just put a new gym floor in out there, so they're not allowing anything right now because they don't want the floor to get tore up. But we are in the process of looking for another building out there. So
Marcus Fine said Greensburg too.
yeah, see.
Where do you have a favorite place that you've got to wrestle at?
Honestly, I would have to agree with that one because I had so many memories there. I've had so many matches there, so I would definitely have to say that. So,
Who probably been your toughest opponent to face?
oh, probably my son.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
He kicked the shit out of me.
That's why I was thinking that probably did.
Yeah, he's one of our favorites to watch. Man.
I'll be honest with you. The experience we had, we came to one of these shows, and I didn't know you had a son to wrestle. I'm gonna be honest. And guy comes out to the ring, and goes to the concession stand, comes out with a bottle of water, and complaining how hot it was, and wanted to know if they could turn down the lights. And I'm looking at my son. I said, "Who is this guy? So what's going on? That's what I mean. I'm thinking, what kind of clown is this? I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
And then he wrestled Dutch Boy and completely beat the shit out of Dutch Boy. And I'm like, where did this guy come from? And then I remember asking somebody, so that's told me it was, and I said, okay, that makes sense now.
Right.
Yeah, then we went back and we watched a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Any footage we could find, like YouTube or online, we watched. Man, he's one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah.
Match him and Carlito had a couple weeks ago. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Yeah, I seen the video of him in one of his matches. I don't know how many times he competed at Game Changer, but I seen one there that he was in, and then I seen one here with MJF.
Yeah,
I found online, seen that match.
Oh yeah, he's wrestled a lot of great talent that's out there right now. Right now he just he's taking it easy. He likes to come and wrestle every now and then, but going on the full circuit, I don't know what he wants to do. But if he wants to pursue it, we'll have his back 100%. So
yeah, again, I think it's definitely some wrestlers here that's got a chance of making it.
Oh yeah,
to the next level, depending on what level that is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's different levels and different places.
Yeah, because we've already, Dex has already, he went and did the Vegas tryout and all that stuff, and we have other guys being looked at and stuff. So,
and everybody's goal is not the same either. I mean, some have the goal of that's what they want to make a living off wrestling and make it to a big company, but some others might not have that same goal, but still love their wrestling business.
Right. I mean, that's going to be anywhere in any state. Yep. You will have your group that wants to go out and get it, but that's the thing about wrestling. If you want it, you gotta go get it. It's not going to come to you.
No.
You gotta go put that work in. Sometimes you might have to hop in that car and ride with somebody to help out to get that booking.
You got work to be able to get that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
And when the opportunity comes, you got to make the best of it because you may not get a second one.
Right.
There's not a lot of opportunities out there.
The twins just, wrestled, Rock and Roll Express and, Primo and Epico, they had a great match, Blake's, he's wrestled a few really good workers out there lately. He's out there, doing a great job. I mean, just everybody, they're all doing wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's hard to believe. I had a friend of mine at work came to that show. He used to go to wrestling, had been for a long time. And I said, come to the show. You're going to really love it. And he did. But he couldn't believe the talent and how some of them haven't been wrestling that long. You know, I told him this person has been wrestling for a year, or this person has been wrestling for a year and a half, or whatever. He was just blown away.
Right. It's like, you know, big bully Rachel Armstrong, you know, notice I called her a bully.
Yeah,
but you know, she just now really broke her year mark, and
Yep.
she's out here doing tremendous things right now and starting to get booked a lot of places.
that was his
that.
that was his favorite that night. It was Rachel.
Yeah.
It was Rachel.
She had one of the better matches I've seen her wrestle. She was on that night.
Oh yeah. Oh, that girl is something else. I tell you, she has so much heart for this business, and she loves it. She absolutely loves it, and she's going to do whatever it takes to be great at it. So that's for sure.
I tell you, I've seen going to these independent shows, at least around Indiana. We haven't been to other states yet. Close, going to Jeffersonville. We almost made it in Kentucky.
Right.
But I don't see in Indiana a lot of women that's really better than her. You know, or a lot better that I've seen. There may be some I haven't seen, of course. You know,
Right.
but she's right up there.
Well, I appreciate that compliment for her. You know, I just don't. You know, I haven't got to see a lot of the other girls, so you know, I don't want to give my judgment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I understand.
It backfire on me or something.
Well, there's one I really,
you know, but you know, as long as you know everybody's out there working hard and training and getting better, that's all that matters. You know, that's
there's one I really want to see is I want to see Starks. I haven't got to see.
Oh, Billy Starks.
Yeah, I haven't got to see her yet. I've heard a lot of good things
Yeah,
about her.
she is a great worker, and she's came a long way, very quick. And give it time. She'll be on TV really soon. Really soon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that match that her and Rachel had a couple
girl-
weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised AEW haven't signed her yet, even though I know she's younger. Because they signed a guy wrestler. I can't think of his name right now. He's only 16 years old, and they've already signed him.
Yeah. Give it time. You know, I think hopefully she's just playing it smart and make sure she get her schooling taken care of and everything. You know, taken care of first.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be a star. So.
What's your goal with like the dub? Are you just going? Is it to keep it here, or are you wanting to keep growing it, or?
The dub here. This is always going to be a training facility. This summer we are to been talking. We're going to go on the road some more and start doing some travel shows.
Okay.
And you know, start hitting it again really hard. It was just kind of hard to do with anything with COVID because it was hard to pull the trigger on a building because 1 minute it was good, the next minute we're not, and we're just like, let's just wait till everything's bypassed and then we'll start.
It seems like everything's starting to slow down, get back to a little bit more normal.
Somewhat normal. Gas prices need to go back down, then we'll be all right.
I don't think it's ever going to be normal.
No, never.
Yeah, gas prices so high, everybody's gonna be walking before too long.
Right. I guess they're going to force us to electric cars.
And then, but then they'll just keep raising the price of electricity.
Yeah,
so
right.
you're still gonna be screwed.
Right on, guys. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me, but you know, I got a lot of stuff
Yep,
to do
I
back here.
understand.
So
Understand that. Hey, if you guys are watching, get here to Indianapolis to the Dub to watch tonight's show. 6:30, doors open, $12 admission, right?
yeah, $12.
7:30 bell time.
It's going to be a great show.
Right on. Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
So you're going to try to do a lot of road shows?